elections within 120 days after NESARA's announcement, monitors elections and prevents illegal election activities of special interest groups, creates new U.S. Treasury currency, the rainbow currency, and we've already seen this, new colored money coming out, initiates new U.S. Treasury bank system in alignment with constitutional law, eliminates the Federal Reserve System, restores financial privacy, retrains all judges and attorneys in constitutional law, ceases all aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide, establishes peace throughout the world, initiates the first phase of worldwide prosperity distribution of vast wealth, which has been accumulating for many decades, releases enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes, enables the release of new technologies such as alternative energy devices. Also, each country under NESARA must abolish their income taxes, must agree to institute common law. Each country must have government leaders elected by the people. Each country must agree to live in peace. Each country must bestow universal prosperity to all their citizens by using the money-making formulas and processes which they claim have a 200-year track record of success in providing massive prosperity. According to the Omegans, this law is already on the books, just waiting to be announced. They promote it as an act of peace, yet this is then enforced upon the entire world, regardless of whether they want it or not. So it's not an act of peace, it's a global agenda. We're looking at another agenda. How can you say something is an act of peace when you're forcing it on people? And this is what they'll use. They're going to entice this NESARA, get rid of your loans, get rid of your debts, and get the chip, and you can join the new kingdom of earth, kingdom of God on earth, joining this economy system. And, their money-making schemes of multi-level marketing, I don't know if you're that familiar with it, but they're financial scams. And that's what's going to hit America, and this whole thing is based on it. And if you look at another thing, is that this Sananda and Jermaine, they're all into alchemy, and it's some kind of, being able to create gold. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back in this NESARA right after this break here. I'm going to finish this up and tell you about the players, tell you about Jermaine and Sananda and what to expect. I'll be right back.
This is the Reality Radio Network on Telstar 5 Transponder 5 and on the internet at realityradionetwork.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Quayle, and for over 10 years and thousands of hours of radio broadcasts, I've been warning and preparing individuals and families of the great perils that are now upon us by having interviews with some of the more interesting and controversial guests in the country. It benefits you to listen in to my previous radio broadcasts, which are available by subscription to archiveondemand.com or by calling Steve Melching at 260-356-2611. Time is running out. The information you may gain could mean the difference between life and death. So once again, call Steve Melching at 260-356-2611.
And now back to Sherry.
Okay, talking about NESARA. NESARA is nothing but a money and wealth bribe. Naturally, people want to be wealthy, so it's going to be appealing to everybody's sense of greed to actually all of a sudden have no debts and have a lot of money. It's going to promote wealth and peace, and it's going to deceive pretty much the entire Western world. What they don't realize, what many don't realize, is this is the same system that actually ran interplanetary during the pre-Adamic era. There's nothing new about the New World Order. It's the old order repackaged and coming back for the last days with, once again, Lucifer at the top running it. As before, Lucifer, who was at the time an archangel in charge of Earth and other planets, in his greed and pride rebelled and wanted to be like God. He boasted that he would become the Most High God, and in these last days, he'll be able to play God for 42 months. His assistant and partner is what the Bible calls his false prophet, and he'll be able to perform miracles and claim that it was the Antichrist God, giving him the power to do it. If and when NESARA is announced, it will begin the total dissolving of the Illuminati's worldwide behind-the-scenes control and domination efforts. So what this crowd does, what some people call them the Dove crowd, is dissolve the Illuminati faction totally, so we get rid of the bad guys to accept the good guys, which is this Omega crowd. And, we're just changing one form of Satanism for another. The Omegans are the ones behind NESARA. They're called the Omegan Army because, it's the God, it's his last days army. And, this is Lucifer's terminology. This is what, they're calling their own people, the Omegan Army. It's the Omegans behind it. They're literally aliens who just support this agenda. The Annex, the Dracos, Reptilians, and Greys, and we already know, if you've listened to my other shows, that the Anics, Dracos, Reptilians, and Greys are just a faction of those that Lucifer controls. They're not friendly. They're very hostile. When famine comes from the judgments of Yahweh for the world accepting Lucifer as its leader, the food will run out, and the Anik, as they did before, during, and after the flood, will prey on humans for food. The Omegans are the ones behind NESARA again. You can go to my website, omegansareliars.com. I give more detail about who this Sananda and Saint Germain is, and a lot more information you can get on my website there. The leaders of this whole agenda are Ascended Master Liar Saint Germain and Ascended Master Liar Sananda. Some of you know him as Maitreya. The Devil Oneness is the official announcer for NESARA. They call themselves the White Knights. They claim that the term White Knight is, they're saving the world from themselves. And so that's why they call themselves White Knights, because they're coming in and preventing a hostile takeover from the Illuminati of the world and saving us from them so that we can then be turned around and suffer a hostile takeover from them themselves. Let's talk about the players a little bit. This is from their own information here that I'm quoting. Saint Germain, I'm going to give you some facts about from their own files. He's known as the man who never dies and knows everything, although he reportedly ascended only 250 years ago. So they're claiming he's been alive for 250 years. He founded Rosicrucianism and Freemasonry in England. He did this under the name Francis Bacon. They claim that he's been reincarnated through several people. If you know, Francis Bacon was Shakespeare. Sorry. It was his dream to create America a new country free of corruption, greed, and dictatorial monarchies. He was instrumental in formulating the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States as they were written by his Masonic followers who founded this nation. The Masonic symbols can be seen on the dollar bill. He appears at meetings by walking through the walls. He displays supernatural powers, and he always wears a cross necklace. And this is how they describe Saint Germain. Some facts about Sananda from their own files. He is beamed into meetings. He just shows up in the center somewhere in the meeting room out of nowhere. Unlike Germain walks through the walls, and Sananda is just beamed into them. Okay, he ascended 2,000 years ago. He's also known as Maitreya. This is the one who mimics Jesus. He's always seen with Saint Germain. He resembles a picture you've grown up seeing as Jesus. You can see the pictures at my website, omegansareliars.com. It won't take you long to discover we've been fed deception from the time we've been kids, even born. All the pictures we've seen of Jesus are attributed to what Maitreya and this Sananda look like. So when he comes in the clouds with all radiance and a booming voice from the space station announcing he's God, with UFOs, his angelic host army, he's not going to say they're aliens or demons, he's going to call them his angelic army, looking like the Jesus of the pictures we've seen. It's going to be very good. This deception coming is going to be very, very, very good. You can read about it, Blue Beam Project, on my website at thewatcherfiles.com. Some more of the information from their own publications. You can go to white/knights911.com is one of their sites, and that's what I'm going to read some of this stuff here from. You can also go to fourwinds10.com. They have a mailing list that you can sign up for just to find out what exactly they're up to at all times with their agenda at most of their sites. They also have one at NESARA.us. Is this one's main site. There's several different NESARA sites out there, but they're not all the same. Some of them are put out there for disinfo. Some of them claim that NESARA.com was put up by George Bush to run counter and attack the NESARA.us site and whatever. I don't get into their own little arguments. We already know who they are and what they're doing and what, just a different faction of the New World Order. Let them fight it out. Okay, so we've got Master Saint Germain, alleged. I'll kind of try to leave my own comments out of here so I get some information out. I'm going to describe what he looks like, what they say he looks like from what I've seen. He's about 6'2". He's buff, dark, slightly curling hair with a mustache and a short beard. Wears a dark violet colored tunic and pants with knee-high riding boots. And around his neck he wears a thick golden chain with a golden cross. And if you remember any of my past